Okay, hopefully we've got the right audio source. Bit of a nightmare. Okay, so we're trying out the Intel A380 encoder right now, and it's been a nightmare just to even get it to start with the graphic display on Linux. I mean, normally when you boot, it just goes straight into the desktop, and this time it wasn't, and it's been a nightmare. And then in OBS, it was not letting me select hardware under simple settings instead of just saying software encoder only. So I had to go into advanced settings and then pick the AV1 encoder, which is using the 380. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. It's not dropping any frames. We'll just see how it goes. I'll load up a couple of Flexboard View instances and it'll probably train wreck it. By the way, just wave if this is actually live. Okay, thanks, Nick. Anyway, in the meantime, I've got this gaming machine that's apparently dead. Well, it actually works fine, but the main display is dead. It's a 4K display. They've had it replaced. It's still dead. I've just found some burned out parts. Trouble is, I don't know if I've got replacements, and I don't know anything about this particular board. I might be able to do it without taking the board out, and that would be a blessing, because as you can see, this is quite a sophisticated machine. I don't even have a board number at this point. What is this? This is an ASUS GX551Q. See if we can find a board view for it. GX551Q. Man, I am not in my normal desktop environment, so I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see, new window. ASUS GX551Q board. We do. Oh, we got PDFs, no schematic. What? Hey, John L. Let's see if this even works. Schematics, nothing. Okay, we've got an error encoding overload issue. What the? Can't see anything here. Okay, just stand by while I try to rectify this. What a disaster. Well, that's still no good. Position's right. What? Delete that one. Goddamn. Hey, Lutok. Oh, we'll just stick with this. I'm just gonna have to do this manually. Anyway, Slime, what were you saying? What is it? Okay, GX. Oh, okay, GX551. Fair enough then. I'll try this again. See if I can just get the application only. Schematics. Weird that I can't seem to. I feel like so many things have changed. Application window. Oh, well, don't really know why it's doing that. We'll try that. Is this in the new one? Because that should be showing up, but I must not have the newest one. Oh, there's no board view. Okay. Oh, that sucks. Oh, we'll just load this one. There was no. Yeah, that's because I haven't mounted that. History, grep. I don't know why I don't have that in my fstab file. This is where I'm going to cheat. Okay, hopefully audio's back. I don't know why I dropped the audio then, that's crazy. Far out. Okay, so we want that. Crop to a bounding bar. Oh, right, that's what I... whoops. Right, so this should be... And... oh boy. Okay, we might have to suffice with this just for the moment. It's going to chew up a little bit more CPU, but we'll get to it. Alright, so we can see that. And now... okay, we've got the schematic. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Slowly, painfully. So anyway, if we go to the microscope, you can see this damaged area that we've got. So you got a great big poly filter, polyfused, you got the screen connector, and we've got a blown filter here. This chunk there, it's really blown itself, and the cap's not too good looking either. Yeah, so we'll see what we've got, something that's equivalent on the board view. Some kind of... so that's that. I'm kind of thinking one like this. This feels very similar to it. Oh wow, I love their coil thing. Wait, that's a fan? That makes no sense. Okay, maybe it is mirrored. Oh, did you mean mirrored in the other way? As in vertically mirrored? No, actually that doesn't make sense. Now this lines up, and that's the NVMe. So it is something in here. Maybe this 9601, try this one. It kind of feels a little more like what it could be. So 1 microhenry, 25 amps. This is more for memory. Hey Slimy Show. What do you want? A ASUS GX551 QS board. I've got that one. This is the QS. Yeah, you can see QS 1.3. Or do you mean... well, yeah, I've only got the 1.3s. Oh, the BV, right. I see what you're saying. Yep. Got it. Understood now. Thank you. Me so stupid. Right. Okay. Hey, nuts and proud. Yeah, micro's still fine. He's obviously still on his insulin all the time. Unfortunately, let's see these. Okay, that's the polyfuse there. Oh god, zooming in on schematics is a colossal pain. It's extremely costly in terms of RAM. Okay, this is it here. I hate how it just does that massive jump there. Okay, I should be able to copy that. Yep, okay, there we go. L450. Okay, let's look for it. L450. And okay, this makes sense. See, it's LCD. This is what we got. Okay, LCD. Ocular. That does not. No. It's going to be another one. That's not enough power. Like that's 1 kilo ohm at 100 megahertz. Maybe it is. See if there's any others. DMIC clock. No. No. Yeah, it must be this. LCD backlight, PWML. No, no, that can't be it. Second from the last. It's not that one. Oh, EDP. Okay, this is what you. Is this what you're talking about? Pure H. There, 402. God, I hate doing these kind of things because of the fact that it's easy enough to get that completely wrong. I guess we could just sort of potluck it and hope for the best. Hey Paul, how? Yeah, sorry about that. We're doing a crazy time. Okay, I'm gonna. This is sort of one of those things where we can't ascertain precisely what filter that is. So I'm going to have to just take a educated guess based on size and kind of what we're dealing with, things like that. Oh, they got a nice sticky. And I'm going to try and do this without actually taking it out of the assembly. Which hopefully I will not regret. The biggest problem I see here is that got very hot and it's kind of welded itself a bit. Yeah, dual NVMe. Yep. Don't like the way that's just lifting up. Shouldn't do that. Yeah, that's sort of... It's been arcing for a while there. You can see how it's cavitated itself out. That's some nasty business. So I think what happened here is there was a fault with the screen originally, which subsequently caused this failure, which then has become a legacy failure. Alright. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to use a calibrated wire on this one. Okay, I got to admit that came off a lot cleaner than I hoped. That's pretty damn clean. Is anyone able to run some stats on the YouTube stream and see, can you first confirm that it's doing 1080, and is it doing 60 frames per second, and does it list what encoding it's coming out as? Because I'm using an AV1 encoder, so I don't know whether that shows up different on YouTube or not, because normally I used to use H.264. $1080 60 VPO9. Okay, is VPO9, that's AV1 these days, isn't it? I don't know. Filter. I think 00165s have the sort of appropriate kind of filter. Okay, VP9 I think is, like I said, it's the new encoder. Bit too much brightness there, Paul. That's better. Okay, what's this fella? This one here looks kind of like it's chunky enough. Hey, Tunmei. Okay, thanks, Nick. Nah, wrong. All good, nuts and proud. Let's see, 3 amps. I was kind of after something a little chunkier than 3 amp. I have a feeling 3 amp may not cover me. I'm just going to physically compare them, although physical isn't everything. Yeah, it's perhaps not quite up to it. I probably want 5 amp, I'm thinking. Hey, Quicksilver. Yeah, this is a real right mess. Oops. Let's see. Like I can't even open up the properties on some things to make. What is the matter with all this? What a mess. Anyway, well, the point is the filter on there is not quite chunky enough for my comfort. I guess this is why people like Soren use calibrated wires. Ow! Don't need that. Everything. I think I broke a lot of stuff when I upgraded the distro. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. They're chunky filters, but probably not the right type. Oh, what about that? That looks promising. This is a 4924. Let's see, schematics. Wow, now that's not even in the right place. Well, that doesn't even tell us what its current rating is, it just tells us 220 ohm. Oh well, we'll extract it and see how we go. Hello, Adam Hogan. This one's too flat on the profile. I know physically the size doesn't really make a difference, but you just sort of want to be getting somewhere close to what it is. I think maybe I will have to just go for the 165 type. Let's see how we go. Well, maybe I can check some of my PC laptop boards, see what they've got to offer. Most of these just use either 0 ohm, some nice chunky ones like that. They're coming off the battery. Let's try the 165. That's pretty diminutive, really, now that I'm looking. The more I look at it, I'm like, no, maybe not. Make up your mind. Unfortunately, I do not have like a kit of filters for this kind of thing. Always, yeah, not what you always need what you don't have. I mean, realistically, most of the time these things are just there for the sake of blowing if things get too crazy, as opposed to being strictly critical. Hey, Sudi. So you can sort of understand why some people just go ahead and put a piece of wire there. Let's try one of these. Indeed it is not, Defom, indeed it is not. We'll see how that goes for visual fit. Of course, the ideal scenario would be just simply that I'd have a spare one of these laptops lying around. That ain't gonna happen. Where did that go? Oh, there. We might be a little bit broad on our size there. Yeah, it's okay, it's a little bit broad. Okay, back to the 3 amp from the... I know, everybody's getting frustrated. Everyone's going, just put something down already, come on man. Defcom, yeah, you want to upgrade. $7.99 came out yesterday or the day before. Best you go get that. There was a bug with the crashing on the part search in the past. So yeah, try the latest, $7.99. Alright, since we're not using hot air, we're going to have to sap away some solder on the pad. In fact, I'm surprised, you must have an old version if you don't have automatic update on those anymore. I mean, internal update anymore. Because the latest versions, they will, you just press a button and it does the update. Good job, Mr. Daniels. Use the micro pencil. Are you on Mac or are you on PC? If you're on Mac, then the automatic update doesn't occur, and unfortunately that's a macOS issue. But if you're on PC, it should. Ah, I've got too much solder on there. It's disgusting. Slowly wick it away. Okay, that'll do. What is it, one Yumi? 550, driving home, programmer. As a programmer, recent, what? I'm not even sure what he's saying. Hey, Fox Laser. Do we have to make laser noises when you arrive? Pew, pew, pew. Get ourselves some Joey rub. Get that muck off the board. Where the hell is my cloth? Honestly, everything's very disorganized right now. I was completely destroyed last week when I was dealing with a macOS issue where, for some reason, on Sequoia, whatever the frick the latest one is, if you tried to do a file open, you could click it, but nothing would happen. And it wasn't actually anything, strictly speaking, wrong with Flexboard View. It was the CMake bundle facility, and there's a particular parameter in the bundling facility that you have to specify. Oh, look like someone else has got a bunch of flux over here. I'm actually not going to touch that. Anyway, there was this one particular parameter that is quite essential, it seems, and only has become essential in the latest macOS release. Let's see, above, there we go. You're a good girl, Etta. Good girl, Etta. Sequoia? What? Anyway, so yeah, that took me far too long to find. I lost probably a bit of hair on that. I really hope this hasn't got any secondary damage on the connector. I can see there's little marks and stuff on that. That's not sitting entirely properly flat. And yeah, once the additional parameter for the bundling was done, then everything worked. But you had no idea that that was going to be the cause, because the error that you were given in macOS was that the domain was nil or empty, which, fine, I get that. In the past, they didn't squawk about it, they just let it go by. But now they've decided, no, we actually want that to be present. And that's where all the problems came about. Flippity flip, I need a screw for the NVMe. Because for some reason this one did not have one on it. That's okay. I do have resources for those. At least I hope I do. Oh, please tell me I've at least got one. Like the heat sinks that I used for the ring lights. Yeah, they're from NVMe drive. And I would get them as a kit. with a screw and a few other bits and pieces, but I'd toss away all the other bits and pieces and I'd just keep the heatsink. But now it seems I have nothing. Oh, that's brilliant. That's a fantastic case of throwing out stuff that you don't think you need, only to find out that something else could have used it. And thus, the obsession with keeping things continues. Oh, so not good. So not good. What? Surely I've got one somewhere. I'm just going to have to start getting random screws and trying to put them in. Is this filter on the VCC 3v3? No, Craig. This is the this is for LCD. It's either for panel power or it's for backlight. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's actually panel power. Is that legit? Yeah, sometimes you can get a screw and it fits, but you also know that it's not quite fitting properly. It's just fitting just because it's pure luck. Yeah, the diameter of that is smidge too narrow. So while it's fitting, it's not really secure. A reasonable knock and that thing will come out. Okay, we'll try this one. Looks a little closer. Okay, that's better. Oh, Silverlap, this screw wasn't even present. Like when the person bought it to me, they said, oh, that screw's not there, don't worry about it. So that's fine. Okay, let's hope we... I just saw sparks coming out of there. Not the sort of thing you want to see. They weren't big sparks. But this is a fancy piece of, like, got two screens on this thing. It's seriously exotic. Okay. Okay, we've got power. Personal information. It's changing colours and stuff. Turn off the overheads. Okay, so that's all weird. It's like split display. Alright, so that's up. So where's our main display? Oh boy. No other display. Nope. Check NVIDIA control panel. Windows key plus P. This display was always working before. This one here is the one that's had problems and they've tried to replace a couple of times. Nothing coming up at all. It's only got the one display detected, which is this one. Alright. Well, we'll check the shutdown. Oh, brilliant. Just shut down. It's certainly quite intricate. Actually, where is the... okay, this is definitely the one going through. The bottom display is touch. Yep. Okay. Now there's a couple of issues here that I've spotted before, and there's a little bit of a mark on that pin there, but that looks like it's part of the backlight output. And then this cap here, it's been damaged, I'm guessing physically, but it's not actually shorted that I can tell. So this has been replaced before. You can see someone's got some hot air into it and things like that. And by the looks of it, this is backlight output. But, and this section here is, I don't know what this section, which is why I thought it might have been display panel power. Let's see if it's short. Ah, you can't see. Flippin' hell. I spelled buyer's remorse wrong, did I? Oh well. It's because I was being remorseful. So if there was a problem here with the backlight connections, it shouldn't make a huge difference because it yeah, it would be only backlight, but we're not actually getting display detect at all. There's certainly some pin meshing going on, which I don't like. They did say they replaced the cable. That kind of actually does give me some cause of concern. Like, what if the cable's not right? Or what if the cable's been damaged again? Let's see if we've still got continuity here. What does the BIOS show? That's a good point, yeah. Okay, so we haven't blown that. That's good too. So we've got power coming through good and proper. Yep, no problem there. That's all fine. I'm fairly sure that's EDP power. I wonder if there's something else I've missed. I kind of worry that with the damage that we saw on that filter previously, that something else has taken the hit, like whatever feeds it. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to think. Shark's teeth go in there okay. So there's no problem with the lock-in that I can see. That cap does concern me, but I'm not going to remove it just yet because I want to try and eliminate the issue first. Try to see if we can pull up BIOS. All voltage, I don't know yet. Been fixing some A1466s. Why didn't that switch? Okay. Two have dead SMC, one with no backlight. I had to order some drivers and everything. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, the LP8550s. Here comes the zip again. Bzzzt. They can be a little bit fickle at times, the LP8550s. Though they're usually, most cases, they're straightforward-ish. Most cases. I don't think it's working because if it's showing up immediately on there, then that's a bit of a problem. I asked for BIOS. Okay, yeah, it's not good. The fact that the BIOS is showing up on here tells me that it's definitely not detecting that. I will say this is often one of the reasons why, for exotic screens like that, the main one, I don't do the screen replacements anymore because too many times these exotic displays, particularly ones with touch, have either there's something almost always that's slightly off. It's the wrong BIOS it's the wrong firmware revision. There's something just not quite right with them, and you've just paid like $600 for a display and you can't send it back and all that sort of stuff. So in a lot of these scenarios, I just tell people you just take it back to the manufacturer because too many times you spend the money and it doesn't work. It's different for your sort of like sub $500 generic laptops. That's fine, replace those. But when you start getting into this sort of arena, I won't touch them. With the external display and help and troubleshooting, potentially so. We can plug that in because that does work. Oops. So, nothing on the auxiliary yet. Nothing's the BIOS isn't going out to the auxiliary. I'm going to have to step away from this one for a second. I've got 2 other machines that I've got to at least try and get out today. I've got a couple that I've got to go JSON. So I'll plug that back in, get voltage mode. Oh, I'm not even, what the, I've really messed up my system today. Oh, you are? Seriously? Okay. Did you check out the Battle Mage GPU AV1 coding? I haven't yet. I was sort of like got this one running and that was it. Okay, so just stand by for a second. Oh, can't do that. For some bizarre reason, I cannot modify the properties on my... It's like my whole scene is locked. No, wait, let me... Yeah. That is the weirdest thing. Can you control F7 to external display? Maybe on the other thing. Anyway, I just need to measure the voltage, see if we've got anything coming out. Or anything going in, or trying to go to the EDP. Yeah, that should do fine. So we've got 20 volts there. That feels more like a backlight type. And we definitely got 20 volts going on the other side. Yeah, so the filter and everything there is good now. Backlight's sitting at 0.4, 0.3, that's bad. So there's definitely a problem here. Where they've already done rework, but I don't know what that is. So I'm guessing it's backlight, basing it on the trunking of the fact that, you know, it's got 4 different pins into that one connector. I'll just turn it off again. But it seems strange that it, well, maybe it self-detects that there's a problem with the backlight and it shuts down everything. I will say though, it's a little weird to see 20 volts going through that filter. So, okay, we're going to see what our diode mode is on that backlight. Oh, maybe I was pressing on the wrong thing there. 0.03 is a little low on a backlight. Let's see what happens when we disconnect. 0.03, so it's not the display or cable. It's almost like a diode is backwards. Hey there, Draco, Bob. I don't know why it's not auto scene switching. It's really annoying me. It's supposed to be... Hey, Quicksilver. Okay, so this is the section I haven't worked on. And this is the section that's showing 0.3. And I kind of wonder if the flyback diode or the blocking diode is actually on backwards. So from what I can tell, it's in... Oh no, that's a cap, not a diode. So realistically speaking, if that's measuring very low, and it's, well, there's a couple of things. There's a problem in the connector itself, or it's up here. So the one way to do that is to remove the polyfuse and see which side of the polyfuse the issue is. I guess we'll do that. Again, I don't want to use hot air. We don't need no stinking hot tweezers. Okay, 0.03, so in this case, if it's, since we got 0.03, goddamn cables, I would be starting to I'd be starting to suspect the driver. Yeah, 0.03, 0.59 up here. Actually, that's kind of interesting. 0.03. Oh yeah, right. It's capacitively coupled, so that's fine. Yeah, so I'd be starting to suspect this driver here. How's the tariffs on Americans affecting my business? Not really at all in any way, to be honest. In some ways, it's probably advantageous. Oh, good one, Paul. Right, let's see if that diode mode's crept up now. No, 0.03. What the flip? Okay, we're still 0.03. Does that mean this cap is at fault? Not a lot else on that circuit basically comes to the output. So maybe the cap took a dive. What's up? Is it a cap or is it a diode? That's actually quite tricky because it kind of looks like a tantalum. But maybe it is... Oh, this screen cable is really giving me hell here. Just keeps wanting to get into my business. Yeah, that just feels more like a tantalum to me. Well, there's no guarantee that's a diode because even though it's marked there, remember, it's a tantalum, so it is polarized. And so, you know, that would be indicating the side to put the tantalum positive. Well, I'll say we get rid of it and see what happens. If it goes pop, we'll know it definitely was a tantalum. It's broken now. Okay, so here we go now. No, 0.03, it's not that. What the hell? What the hell is there else? You basically got the coil and that's it. And this 1 ohm resistor, but as far as I can tell, the gap. Stupid OBS. Anyway, there's our 0.03 is still along this trace. So this has to go somewhere. You can see there's feed-throughs there. I don't want to take this damn board out, but I'm going to have to. I've made a freaking wreck of it already. So I'll put it to the side. I need to get one of these other machines that need to go out today out of. Where's that machine? Yeah, welcome to hell indeed. Well, like I said, I'm worried about the fact that there was that high degree of burning on the EDP output that makes me think that, yeah, whatever the fault is, it's in the board somewhere. So I don't really have the greatest of hopes of being repairable. I hate these. They're not as bad as the 1932s, but they're still not great. At least when OBS doesn't crash on this, it seems to be okay. But I realistically can't afford to have OBS crashing, so push come to shove, I'm going to have to go back to the T400. Now, the only reason why I moved up from the T400 was because when I had multiple instances of Flex Board View running, we only had 2 gigs on the T400, and so I think we were kind of sapping the VRAM. So I need to find a T400 with 4 gigs of VRAM, which was more expensive than the A380, which has 6 gigs. But I feel like I've basically traded one issue with an even bigger issue, and I may just go back to the T400 and simply accept the pain that comes with until I can catch myself a 4 gig. Or you know what, probably the easier thing would be is for me to just stick the 1650 card in. I should have just done that, but I thought no, get a 3. Yeah, that's what I get for listening to people. I should have just gone with the 1650 card, which would have had plenty of power, and it's got, I think, 4 gigs in it. Yeah, 5090 for 639. Sheesh. Okay, Paul Howell, you take care. Get some rest. Bit early for you. The main reason why I was not bothering with the 1650 initially is because I was thinking, what's the problem? I didn't want the power consumption to be excessive, because that's the nice thing about the T400 is it's barely 20 watts. But it turns out the A380 is about 50, 60 watts, and you even have to have the PCIe 8-pin connector going into it, whereas funnily enough my 1650 does not. So I kind of feel like I have wasted my money, and that's not good. I can't afford to be doing that. Literally cannot afford to be doing that. What am I going to do with a 380? No one wants a 380. The B series is better, I agree, but it's also somewhat more expensive. Yeah, I got this was selling for $230, and I got it for $199. So, you know, I got it cheaper. Thank God for that, at least. Right. Okay, we'll put the battery in first. Stick some strips down. Unfortunately, they're not going to be fancy pull strips, which is annoying. Get off. You probably buy it for Plex transcoding. You know what? Maybe I should just send it to you, Slime. You've done so much. You know, you've done all the work around XZ. Maybe I should just send it to you. Like, no charge. Consider it your thank you, so to speak. We'll see how it goes. See if I can get a win or not. And if I can't, then we'll visit that. Niemand. Kack. Jeez, I hope I got the right hole. God damn it. Need to just... shred the thread, Paul. Shred the thread. Where's the CD? Right, that one's in. Hey Sonia. Rare to see you pop up still. The trouble with these particular screws is they're so shallow with the Torx recess that it's very easy. If you don't apply enough pressure, it will, even though it shouldn't, it can and will still torque itself out. It's not meant to behave like that, but the reality is that, you know, all your drivers are going to have some kind of rounding on their tips, so subsequently as you apply torque they are going to tend to drive the bit out. Just obviously quite a bit less than a Phillips would. Adjust him, and I have to decide what I'm gonna. I'll do some more diagnose. I guess I'm just gonna have to take that logic board out of that fancy laptop, but I have a feeling that with that low resistance, low diode mode on the backlight, it's not exactly a good thing. Yes, you could file the roundness out. What I sometimes will do, depending on the driver, but often there is enough length at the tip where you can just, you know, flat file it back. So you get a slightly shorter tip, but at least it is, once again, back to being as square as you can possibly get. Honestly though, it's probably just cheaper. It's easier just to get another driver. Looked at that Asus laptop, people had issues with one display not working, one said remove the second NVM. What? Yeah, I'd say people doing things like taking the second NVM out, that's probably an indication that there was corrosion on their board or some part that was, you know, a bit shorted out. Kind of like when machines get magically fixed after they've been shipped up here. You know it's not the true fix. But I will have to go along and clean up the work I've done. I mean, it's not going to... Oh, don't do that, Paul. You don't need to connect that yet. It's not going to affect the operation of it, or at least it shouldn't. It's just... Yeah, it means I'm not going to be able to do that repair. Blame charger, yours is doing the exact same thing, would not work the charge connect with the secondary screen. Really, Miles? That's weird. That is really weird. And I think what's a concern is I have a feeling that there must have been something wrong with the backlight driver in the first place, which is why we had all that rework flux and everything around it, but I don't know what it was. And then the fact that what I'm guessing is the EDP output also had a burned up section, so it's not really looking good. Charge ID pin has been... Oh, okay, that is weird. Yeah. I mean, I can understand if it charged slower or refused the charger, but to actually stop the second display... It's almost as bad as a MacBook. Well, these are supposed to be quick and easy to reassemble. It feels like it's taking me forever. Okay. I do leave the plastic on there. In case something goes wrong with the battery, then it's just like you take it back out and go, there you go, look, it's brand new. Send it back to the manufacturer. Yeah, the chap that bought it in, he said he paid $600 for a replacement display. So now that you've just said $800, I'm starting to get worried. I'm starting to worry that his $600 display might have been not exactly perfect. I still don't know why we're getting 20 volts on that section that I replaced. It's not a voltage I would normally anticipate to see, in all honesty. What I should do is do a continuity check and see where the output of the section I fixed goes to on the display itself, on the connector. Alright, see if this thing charges now. 1.2 amps, 6, 7, 1.5. What are you doing jumping around? Okay, yeah, we got a boot. Although it doesn't feel like it's charged. Guess we'll see. These particular batteries are notorious for misbehaving. We've got 31% on the battery currently, so let's just clean up and see what happens. If we jump up to 32, okay, hitting 2 amps, that's telling me it's charging. You're not going to see 2 amps going into one of these unless it's charging something. At least not sustained like that. Ooh, now it's back to 1.7. What are you doing, man? You're killing me. Hey, Paul Norman. So let's see, what was this? 2503. Pimple. Sneeze coming up. Come on, you sneeze. Hey, Biblet. Where's my mid display? Yeah, it's one of the things that is broken since I've done this whole update. It did not go in any way, shape or form cleanly. It's been an absolute disaster. The only thing that went clean, or the only two things that went clean, is that it was delivered fairly quick and I got it cheaper. Everything else has been a bit of a pain. So this, okay, so this is a normal connector. Geez, 4 o'clock. Yeah, I'm in trouble. I'm just going to answer this. Wouldn't the logic board still be working as the laptop works on? The burn damage was on the section which delivers power to the main display, full stop. I am starting to worry that the fact that that was burned up and there is work being done on the backlight for that display gives me concern that there is an internal issue with the way the display is being detected. I have already tested by removing the damage and repairing it, but unfortunately on the prior repair that was done by the previous tech, the output of the power appears to be shorted internally into the board so far. Alright, that was just me sort of like, psh, yeah. I have a feeling that really it's probably not a machine I should be touching any further. I'll clean up what I've done, but I think it's, if you can use it with an external display, great, but otherwise it's going to be, it's an expensive machine, I dare say, but you're going to wake up? Okay. I can never tell. Sometimes these things go straight to sleep, sometimes I stay awake, and you just, this one decided to go straight to sleep. It is almost 4 o'clock. Okay, we're at 35%, so this is definitely charging. Pull the power. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Alright then, I have to run because I've got to go pack at least 2 orders to ship off to Jason of Unofficial Mac, because otherwise he's going to hate me. I've been unavailable in terms of doing shipping outs the last 5 days or so. Not only that, We had a long weekend, like last week was only 3 days long, but chasing down the obscure bug on the latest macOS that wasn't even my fault per se, that surprisingly took a lot more out of me than I was expecting. Like, I couldn't sleep or anything, which is really stupid. I know it sounds stupid, but it was a real problem. And so now I'm only just coming out of that and then dealing with these, and of course now my A380 is misbehaving. I'll give the A380 another couple of days of trying, see if we can get things to be more stable. But if I keep getting crashes, I'm just going to have to go out and spend more money and get a 4GB T400 or T600. Anyway, I am out of here. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for giving me the feedback on the crashing of the OBS. I'll see you on the next one, whatever it might be. Until then, you take care. I'll catch you later.